Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $2.01 trillion market cap for crypto. The market's off by 1.4%. Bitcoin right now, 54,100 plus. Ethereum, 2,200 plus. 118 billion plus market cap for Tether. 34 billion plus market cap for USDC. XRP at the number 7 spot, 52 cents. We're off by 1.1 on the 24 and off by 6% on the 7 day. Just to cap it here, off by 8.1 with Ethereum on the 7 day and off by 7.1 for Bitcoin. So the whole market is off about the same at the current moment. So we're looking at a range between 53 and 54 cents, and we're sitting at the bottom of that range. So we'll keep an eye on as we move through the week, this coming week. See what happens, if we can get some good news here. I think we have some of the most incredible news shaping up for the entire digital asset space, for which Ripple and XRP will benefit from just as much as anyone else in the space. And probably more so, to be honest, because they're working to be inside of the financial system. So understanding that, let me remind you of this very quickly on the front end. It is the Digital Perspectives Mastermind Group, ladies and gentlemen, the DPMG, which you see right here. And I want to tell you that people are, in fact, really learning things, because as your portfolio prepares to explode to new levels, you need your mind to explode to new levels. You don't want to just become a millionaire and not have a millionaire mindset. This is very key, because the only thing worse than not having money in your life is having some and then messing it up. And I know that your life is busy, and I know that you can't keep up with everything, and that's why we designed this group, because the markets are, in fact, collapsing and transforming around us. You can get the greatest tools that you need, like investor checklists, portfolio creation, groups and courses, the support to a remarkable community with resources and knowledge like you've never believed. Let me tell you, this is the time when real wealth is made, when markets are down. It's when you buy, not when you sell, right? When you buy is what is so important. And now, over this crypto winter, we all know that we are going to get legislation sometime soon in the future here. And when we do, we want to know that our mind is prepared to handle the wealth that is about to come to you. And that is what we're focusing on. If you want to learn how to use XRP Ledger Automated Market Makers, we're doing it. If you want to learn how to what trusts are best for you and your family, you can learn that inside of here. We're doing a case study on trust and learning how to separate your assets from you personally so you can't be harmed and you can pass your investments and wealth down to your children without issue. This is key, important adulting stuff we're doing in this group. If you join the DPMG, you will get the Freedom Zone for free. It's very affordable to be in the DPMG. In fact, I would make the point that you can't afford not to be in it. So click the link, because I am going to close the window on this, as I've done before, and you will not be able to get in. So if you want to get in, this is the window of time to do it right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's a special moment. Let's get started. Let's start with supporting John Deaton, who won the Republican primary, and I am absolutely convinced, and I will do anything I can to make sure that he is the next senator of Massachusetts. I'm actually asking all of you a call to action to not only go to johndeatonforsenate.com and donate what you can, $5, $10, it doesn't matter. Anything helps. But to go even further than that, please share, retweet on any platform, social media you are. And I want you to politely and professionally tag and engage Senator Warren at SEN Warren. And I want you to ask her if she will debate John Deaton on the 5 single issue debates, including women's rights. Now, this is a key thing, because she claims she's a good debater, and she also claims that she's for women's rights. Well, why is she ignoring his offer to debate here? It's disturbing. Now, let's talk about this piece of information, and God bless I Trust Capital. I don't know if the rest of you saw this, But in response to a recent email from Fortress Trust, we encourage all clients to click the link below for important updates, detailed information. Now, let me give you the long and short here. iTrust Capital is the best home for IRAs in the planet, bar none. And they used Fortress Trust for their custody for quite some time. Now, with that being said, they have sent out a letter saying that they were going to switch their custody to Fortis Trust, and it was going to give them some better service agreement, arrangement, or what have you, provide a better relationship on the back end from that vendor that provides their custody service. Now, the problem is Fortress Trust has come out and basically said, oh, okay, we'll transfer the assets for you, but we're going to charge each one of your customers a $125 transfer fee to do this. Now, here's where we come in here, because that's where I saw this, and I said to myself, whoa, is Fortress Trust, which is just merely a vendor of iTrust because they chose them as a custodian, now trying to extort money from iTrust and their clients by demanding that they're going to charge them $125 for a transfer fee? What in the hell is that? And then it dawned on me. I said, wait a minute. I remember Ripple is actually an investor in Fortress Trust. They were going to acquire it one time and backed out, but they are an investor. And I wonder if they happen to be aware of what Fortress Trust are doing right now. Now, let me put this to bed. iTrust Capital has said if Fortress Trust goes forward with this and tries to put this bully move in place, which is an extortion move in my eyes, if they do that, iTrust said they're going to make their customers whole and they will cover it. So that's amazing. And that just shows you the class and the integrity of iTrust. But I tell you, this is a bad look for Fortress, and I hate that they're doing this. It's like, this is unheard of in the IRA custody business. I don't even need to talk to anybody about this. This is unheard of. You hire a vendor to be your custodian, and then they want to start charging individual services to your personal clients. No, honey, that dog don't hunt. So let's all politely tag Ripple with this post and see if they're aware of what somebody they're invested in is doing here. This doesn't add up. But I tell you, class act of iTrust to come out and say that they would cover the fee should it happen to their customers. Now that's integrity right there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll keep you posted. Now, I did show this, but I'm showing it again to set the stage because of what I believe is coming. $1.78 trillion was wiped out of the U.S. stock market in the first week of September. We covered yesterday. But again, looking at this, with that happening, we also know that U.S. national debt explodes. $684 billion plus in 3 months. As Fitch warns, America has failed to fix its growing debt burden. So you can see it's coming at us from all sides. The markets are collapsing. The national debt is exploding. They won't stop printing money. They're getting ready to cut interest rates again. The inflation is out of control. They're trying to do what they can. There's nothing left to do. It's just, it's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back is where we're at here now. And while we're looking at that scenario all across the board, U.S. companies are forecast to buy $10.3 billion in Bitcoin over the next 18 months. Well, that's not hard to see, understanding the lay of the land we just showed you. Of course, they're looking to go anywhere with their money that they can to avoid the downfall and the crash that's coming. We can all see it. But banks can't still participate in custodying assets, whether it's for iTrust or whether it's for these businesses that want to put 10 plus billion into the market because they see what is coming in the traditional markets. We're stuck because of that SAB 121 rule that Gary Gensler decided to put into place at the SEC, which he has no right to do. And here we are stuck because listen to this. This is key because we're going to go into something you're going to love.
Finding guidance letter put out by part of the SEC. Actually, it's guidance for the accounting firms that oversee publicly traded companies. Well, if you tell the big four accountants that they should treat they should tell their clients to treat digital assets this way, it does effectively become a rule on the public companies, and many banks are public companies. And what this thing says is that that you have to carry custodied Bitcoin on your balance sheet. State Street, I think, is the world's largest custodial bank.
It is. Keep listening.
Like, I don't know, trillions of dollars on behalf of their depositors and clients. That's not on their balance sheet. If State Street goes into bankruptcy, I'm not saying they are, then those assets are not part of the bankruptcy, right? Those are owned by the depositors. They're separate. They don't carry them on their balance sheet.
So you can see what they've done here. Keep listening.
This rule requires that the Bitcoin be carried on the bank's balance sheet in the case of a publicly traded bank, which means that it now becomes subject to bank capital requirement rules. So for every $1 you hold in Bitcoin, you will have to hold $1 in extra cash also. So you can imagine, okay, if we're going to hold, $12 of Bitcoin, okay, that's not too bad. But what if you're an institution with $1 billion or $13 billion of Bitcoin? The bank's not going to, where are they going to get the $13 billion in cash to put next to their Bitcoin? So they effectively don't do it, right? It would be totally uneconomical for them to do it. The downstream effect is that everyone is custodying with state chartered trusts. And at this point, to be clear, the custodians have become amazing. But in general, you've got for millennia, maybe not millennia, for hundreds of years, the place that people custody assets is at regulated depository trusts and banks. And for some dumb reason, they won't let Bitcoin be custodied there. So these will ease, I think, over time, because also it just doesn't make any sense. It's just really quite stupid. Why not let them?
And it is stupid, but it is intentional, I believe, because, look, let's just stay with this for a second here, okay? Now, that's a custody issue because of what Gary Gensler has done at the SEC to prohibit banks, because they would have to match everything they hold from their clients one-to-one themselves, right? Okay. So, with that being said, now let's talk about not custody. That was custody issue and what the problem is, why banks can't do it. Thanks, Gary. But now let's talk about what Karen Gifford, the former chief compliance officer, said about payments going all the way back to 2015. This is a remarkable comment right here. I want you to listen to this, and it comes in right here.
Settlement with implications, very positive implications for things like the new fee pre-disclosure rules under Dodd-Frank. I honestly don't know how any bank can comply with those rules if they're not using Ripple. And closure rules under Dodd-Frank, I honestly don't know how any bank can comply with those rules if they're not using Ripple. I mean, I'm not saying that to
Nothing sells like fear. Just
right. If you don't know in advance where the payment is going and what fees are going to be added to it before the recipient gets it, it's extremely hard to comply with pre-disclosure.
Pre-disclosure. So since 2015, Ripple has understood that their system was designed to work in a compliant manner according to regulation, and they have been in compliance and understand that they needed to be in compliance since 2015. Almost 10 years they've known this. And we're still waiting for the legislation to give us clarity. We're still waiting for them to repeal the SAB 121 so the banks can custody. This is the problem. This is why I keep saying here, this article that came out just last month, good news or a trap? The USA wants to classify cryptocurrencies as traditional currency. According to who? Well, according to a new initiative from the U.S. Treasury and the Federal Reserve could change everything by reclassifying cryptos as currency under the Bank Secrecy Act. I know you've heard me talk about this. Don't go nowhere. Former Ripple advisor Michael S. Barr, supervisor, VP of the Federal Reserve, what is he going to do there? I'll tell you what he's going to do. Barr is expected to scale daily oversight of both biggest lenders and small financial firms that play a part in the overall economy. He'll also be in charge of developing regulatory policies for cryptocurrencies and stable coins. And what does the article say? They're considering reclassifying cryptos as currency under the Bank Secrecy Act. The Bank Secrecy Act would give banks control of crypto because they would be allowed to custody it and use it for payments because it would be currency. And that could get monitored under the OCC just like the banks do. The Fed's Michael Barr calls for strong stablecoin regulation and says we haven't made a decision when it comes to CBDCs. Well, the real USD is about to launch, and Michael S. Barr is a former Ripple advisor. And we're about to see a stablecoin launch. And what else are we going to see? Well, Rosie Rios, the 43rd Treasurer of the United States of America, is a board of directors of Ripple. And isn't it funny? The U.S. Treasury oversees the OCC and the rest of it. And everything money. Because it's the Treasury. That's what the Treasury means. And then there's the Fed that does the printing, right? And the circulating. Yada, yada. You know, if you don't see this coming together now, do you think that Craig Phillips, Susan Friedman, Michael S. Barr, and Rosie Rios all came from the Treasury, and Rosie Rios still sits on the board of directors there, and all of this shit's not about money? There is no getting to you at this point. You would have to think that all those people from the Treasury just found their way here by accident. It's just happenstance to you? Is that what it is? Let me tell you what. Then there's the rumor Kamala Harris realizes just how out of favor she and Gary Gensler are with the world here. Gary Gensler might be fired. Kamala Harris donors are privately urging her team to do so because of the stigma he's created around this entire space and the regulation by enforcement. But then Brad Garlinghouse over in Japan starts talking about this notion. Take a quick listen.
Innovative guys take the lead?
Well, I think what you're seeing is some of the bigger guys partnering with the smaller innovative companies. Ripple,
some of the bigger guys partnering with the smaller guys.
Way back in 2016, partnered with SBI, one of the largest and most successful banking conglomerates here and really across a lot of financial services here in Japan. And that's been a really successful partnership for us and for them. So we feel like it makes sense to when you enter some of these markets to partner with some of the bigger guys. And that's true in Korea, that's true in Japan. Depending on what market you go into, we try to figure out what's the best way to enter.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. But the bigger guys partnering with some of the smaller guys. The top partnering with the down, right? Like David said, take a listen to this.
Like the amount of money I borrowed. Like all of these other use cases need great payments. And so we just sort of laser focused in on payments. And I think the other thing that we did different from the very earliest days was everybody else, including us in the beginning, had this ground up strategy. Like if you don't have a strategy, your strategy is get everybody to use the thing that I think is great. And I think a lot of companies are still pursuing that. But I think there's also a sort of top-down strategy. And that's kind of what the internet did. Like the internet got governments to adopt it. They got universities. They got sort of big players. And so we just...
And there you have it. And that is there you have it right there. That's exactly what he said. Some of the bigger guys partner with the smaller guys. The top down, the bottom up, the grassroots versus the military and governments adopting the technology from the smaller guys up. That's the moment we're in, and it will take legislation to get the door open so it can happen en masse. And I couldn't be more excited, and I don't find it to be an accident that Rosie Rios from the U.S. Treasury, which deals with money, happens to be on the board of directors at the same moment that we start hearing that the Congress here in the United States is considering reclassifying all cryptos as currency. Eggrag Crypto says 540 days ranging since March 13th, 2024. If you are getting shaken by these tiny moves, you don't deserve the massive mega pumps that are coming. Stay steady. XRP Army is what he's saying. And I'm right there with you, baby. Well, I love this color-coded chart. Look at this and how amazing it is. And here's the other thing. For the OGs that have been in here on this channel and this audience, I salute you. We have been through something for a long time. Those of you just getting here, welcome. Hit the like and subscribe. Don't go anywhere. We are on a journey, and it's about to get really fun. But what I really love is that, look, I know that this color code is amazing because, look, he does amazing work. Let's just face that. But you get above this supply zone, as he has said to us multiple times, at 70-cent range. And then we're going to get into some of that fun stuff that we all want to see, where it's very bullish. But ultimately, I have different, price targets, as a lot of other people do. But I'm ultimately here for what the real goal is, which is 4- and 5-digit XRP from mass adoption inside the financial system over time. I think they will win. I think they will accomplish it. They are already on their way to doing so. And I tell you, I couldn't be more excited to see this chart in front of me, and I just may have to try to buy the dip again. But Mrs. Backup is home, and I don't want her to hear me in the other room. Okay, that's going to do it for me. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. But if you don't hear from me Monday, then you realize Mrs. Backup probably heard me that I was going to get a little more XRP, and I didn't make it. Just playing. All right, not financial advice from me or anyone else, just my digital perspectives, and I will catch all of you on the next one. Make sure you go to digperspectives.com, join the Freedom Zone for next to nothing, or the DPMG, and get the Freedom Zone for free. I'll see all of you on the next one.